Shalom, Akim. I'm gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakadash, the waters, elders, and apostles of GMS who teach in Royal, and say text to all the Akim in all four corners of earth who's pushing his truth and sincerity. Shalom, Akim. Yeah, I just wanted to get into this. You know how they're pushing all their information onto these digital things. You know, whether it be a digital phone, your digital ID they have. You know, they have these uh, things called these real IDs out now. So I guess the rest of the IDs are not real, but these other ones are real. You know, they have a star in the corner. It means it's legit. You know, so Esau is coming up with different ways to just milk the people's feelings. You know, and continue to play on their agenda as far as you know knowing how these people are, man. You could just tell them anything and they'll roll with it, man. They're not gonna question a thing, you know. And especially when you come out with different ways to scare them, you know, you tell them that oh your money has diseases on it, it carries different sicknesses on it. You know, we'll shut down the country again because it has that thing on it. You know that you had to get the jump shot for. You know, they have different ways to scare the people, and the people just they don't question anything, they don't look at anything. You know, at the end of the day, they're sheeple anyway. So you know, this digital stuff, digital IDs, these digital wallets are coming out with digital IDs. Will have your information on it. You know, and ultimately we know what it is ultimately going to zero down to. You know, is the when they insert it into you. You know, um, we haven't heard too much from Three Square lately. You know, pretty soon I guarantee they'll be popping out. You know, showing you how great their lives, telling you how great their lives are, which would be a lie. You know, but at the end of the day, it might be right because this is their kingdom. You know, um, they're getting ready due to us. You know, talking down on these things. Pretty sooner than later, that's another thing that'll be taken away. They're starting to take away their freedom of speech. It's being taken away slowly but surely. You know. Uh, we've been going through this for quite some time, dealing with the internet. You know, when we put videos out, the certain words we use, they turn it on us and use it against us. You know, and call it hate speech and stuff like that. So this has been going on for quite some time, but it's coming down to the end of the road where, you know, Esau's going to say enough's enough. It's Amos 8:11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh. I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, not a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord, man. Once again, you know, we're the ones talking down against this technology that this devil comes out. We're the ones that's blowing the trumpet, blowing the horn, letting the people know what's coming down, and it's going to happen inevitably. You know, we're the ones doing these things, man. You know, and still we're the ones that's called conspiracy theorists. You know, we're the ones that's the bums and with the potato skins, potato sacks on them. You know, that's like we got all sorts of names for us. You know, but once again, at the end of the day, they won't be able to say that we haven't warned them. You know, the people will not be able to say that, man. Our job was to warn the people, and that's what we've done, man. You know, we stood on our post and we warned these people about this devil's technology he's coming out with. You know, and what he's gonna fool you with, and what he's gonna try to do to you with, and what the Lord is against, man. You know. Isaiah 9:16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. And you're going to be destroyed dealing with this devil's technology. They're already showing you signs if you upset this president, if you speak down on the government. You know, they're showing you in different movies. They got AI clips showing you how the future is going to look if people go ahead and take these things, man. You know, how they're doing in China, how they already have rolled out the technology and the maps in China and showing you how people have credit scores and how they lower them and how they won't be able to travel. They got to sit in the back of the bus if their score is low. They got people walking around with clipboards, checking on people to make sure that they're doing the right thing. If they leave a piece of paper on the ground, you know, they got all sorts of rules set up for the people if they try to disobey the government, you know, and what they got going on. So yeah, these people are just gonna be led, you know, they're gonna be led to destruction, man. You know, and that's just, you know, that was their job, man. You know, that was their whole lot, to be led to these times we're in right now, man. You know, these are getting ready to get ugly times out here. This is why, you know, we were trying to tell those Israelite brothers out there to come on home, man. You know, to wake up to who you are, because time is short, man. This devil's rolling out with his technology. It's getting ready to be unleashed upon you people very soon, man. This is Isaiah 59, and I'm gonna start 1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that he cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have spared between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies, your tongue have murdered perverseness. None calleth for justice, none, nor any plead for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity, man. You know, so that's just what this place does to our people. You know, the ones that are in it, you know, and they're stuck in this, you know, stuck in ways they don't want to come out. You know, the Lord, you know, is not going to be dealing. It's not going to be too kind on you in these times, man. You know, you're going to fall for this devil's technology, man. You're going to fall into this devil's trap, man. You know, and that's why we're blowing the horns, man. So this blood cannot be on our hands, man. We are wiping the blood off our hands by doing videos, going out warning the people, whether they forbear or not, man. You know, we are doing our job, man. And our job is to warn the people, man. Because this devil's technology is going to cover the earth very soon, man. And he's showing it in increments, man. You know, one thing about these people, they just think that, you know, the devil rolls all in one punch. He's just going to throw everything on the red carpet. No, he rolls it out in stages, man. Things happen in stages, you know. First, he had to fool you with you were all sick and that you needed to take this. You know, and showed half the population getting knocked off. But, hey, that was because they were old and they were ready to die. You know, he comes out with different reasons why. Just like when it's time to go to war, he'll create an enemy for you, you know. He'll create an enemy for you to go out and get keyed up. And that's where we're going to go bomb. We're going to go bomb the country. They should have never done this to America. And they've done it. They do it to themselves, man. You know, they establish their own enemies. They establish their own dangerous things that happen in the country, and then they rile the people up to go out and fight a foreign enemy that they made up. And usually it just means that they're bombing another country, you know, at the end of the day. But you can't say that we haven't been warning you. This is Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, man. And so once again, we're going to continuously blow this horn, you know, and let the people know of the times we're in, man. You know? They're ushering their technology right in your face, man. With this real ID is just one more step towards, man, you know? Because we already know what Esau's final plan is. This Revelation 13 and 16, you know? But before that happens, once again, he has to have things implanted in increment. Because the people, you know, you have small groups of people who, you know, the Bible thumpers of the South, you know, they read their Bibles. But at the same time, once, you know, you have, you know, once everybody's turning on them, civilization's turning on these people, you know, you're going to see who the true believers are, man, you know, because that's the trying times we're going to come into. Trying times are ahead of us, man, you know, and like brothers just said, a lot of brothers is not going to be able to last in them times because they're going to want to go back to their family, you know, they're going to want to be with their parents and stuff, trying to help them out, you know, as far as, mom and dad said I can't come over until I take this. It happened with this last previous one, you know. So when the doors is coming, when the walls are closing in closer and closer, you know, a lot of times Jake fold, man, you know. especially on with no faith. If you have no faith, you're gonna fold, man. You know. So yeah, we see the times they're coming into. We see that this truth. As far as it being pushed on the internet and on the highways and byways, we're getting closer and closer. Because once again, like I say, all it takes is for them to implement what they got going on in China at a higher level here in America, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of people hurt and a lot of people just upset, and the true colors of people gonna come out in the times. But yeah, I just wanted to keep pumping this real ID, these different IDs they're going into, just ultimately, just gearing you up for what's coming down the road, what their real plan is, that Revelation 13 and 16, But with that being said, let's edify. Shalom, Akim.